Happy New Year! It's 2014, and I'm so glad to be back with all of you. Many of us have set some goals and New Year's resolutions, but how many of you have thought about your dreams? I want to talk about what I've learned while I've been pursuing mine, and talk to some people who are boldly going after their own. Inspiring. Real. Funny. Everyday topics. This is Jess. Let's talk. First, let me tell you all, I do not know everything. I am simply going to share with you guys some things that I've learned throughout my journey of pursuing my dream. So, to start off, I know you guys see me doing this show. I believe this is my 5th episode. And what you don't know, though, is that I was really scared to do this. I didn't even think to try and do an online show, even though it's my dream. You know, if you've been following me since my first episode, I told you guys in my Jess moment that this is my dream and this is how I'm starting off. But in the beginning, I was really scared to do it. You know, I thought I was going to be like Oprah. You know, she started off in news as a reporter, and then she transitioned into having her own talk show with the network she was working with. So with me, I thought, oh, I'll do the same way. That's the way to go. But then someone suggested to me, how about doing your own online talk show? And when they said that, I was like, online talk show? Me? Nobody's going to watch it. I just don't think I can do that. And quite frankly, I was just scared to put myself out there like that, you know, for the whole world to see. I would have no idea who's going to watch me. But then, you know, because of my relationship with God, you know, I talked to him about it and got over the fear of being afraid to do it. You know, he helped me, you know, have more faith in him to believe that it was possible with him, but then also to just believe in myself. You know, there's lots of people who, you know, do videos. Why can't I? And so once I pressed past that, I continued to pursue it. And as you all know, if I hadn't done that, you wouldn't see me here right now. So get past your fear and have faith. What's the worst thing that you can lose, right? It can only fail. Or you can risk never ever trying it if you decide to let fear stop you. So get past the fear, have some faith. Don't just take my word for it. I have a friend that's going to show us that she was able to do it as well.
For my first guest, I have Ashley Service, who is a junior at Coppin State University majoring in dance. Ashley, I'm so glad that you can join me to talk about my first point, which is fear and faith. So I told everybody that when I was getting ready to start this show, I was so scared. You know, I didn't really believe in myself, and I just didn't think I could do this. So since you and I share a career that isn't, you know, practical, and, you know, today's society is not, you know, the practical thing to want to do, with you dancing and me wanting to do a talk show, what are some of the fears you had to get over in order to pursue your dream of dance?
Well, the first thing I really had to get over was myself, because, you know, I put myself in the way as far as like trying to pursue, you know, my career as far as within dance, you know, because dance is not a popular thing. And so, you know, you have people that really don't understand. And so I had to kind of prove to people that dance is a way maker to, you know, to have a good career as far as finishing, you know, after college. And so, like I said, myself was really a hindrance in, you know, me just trying to overcome the ideas of, you know, not knowing what to do and stuff like that. Because, you know, I didn't have anybody to help me. So I really had to depend on God as far as like, you know, where to go and who to talk to. So pretty much it was just myself that really was in the way. So, yeah.
Okay. And, you know, sometimes we are our biggest hindrances, you know, when it comes to pursuing our own dreams. So, Ashley, how did your parents feel? Were they supportive of you pursuing your dream?
Actually, yes, my mom and dad definitely were, especially my mom, because she didn't go away to college. So because I was the first to go, she was highly excited. You know, mothers, you know, they love to live through you, and so because of the simple fact that I'm able to go, you know, she was completely supportive. You know, I'm out of state, so you know, and I had you know, an idea of what I wanted to do, so she backed that up. And my dad, he was super proud because, you know, as himself being an entrepreneur, I was pretty much following in the footsteps of him. Wanting to own my own dance studio after I finished school. So they both were receptive to the idea, and I definitely was blessed to have them a part of this process.
Okay, that's good. So, Ashley, with the fear that you talked about before, what was it that made you decide to, you know, just get past yourself and, you know, just go and do it?
Well, because I have a love for dance. And so because I found a school that that held that capacity of love, you know, to pursue that, I was like, you know what, well, why not? Why can't I go to school? Because at that time in my life, I didn't want to go, you know, to school. I was set in my ways, working. But like I said, someone, you know, really came in my life and kind of pushed me. And out of nowhere, I went to the campus. And as soon as I stepped foot on the campus, I automatically knew that I was going to be there. And a few months later, I got a letter in the mail telling me, congratulations, I got into the school. So by me really doing my part, even though when I didn't see that, you know, it was a possibility, I still did it because I had a desire to really do something better, you know, than just to stay in a complacent mindset. So, yeah.
Good. So you truly had it deep in your heart, a passion for this. And so you knew that even though you had that fear, you had to press past it. And that was good that you had somebody to help you, because the same with me, I had people encouraging me, you know, when I started to get doubtful, you know, along the way and beforehand. So it's really good to have people around you when you're choosing to go after your dream that will be there to support you and be positive. So I like that. So, Ashley, thank you again for coming to the show. You know, it was great talking to you.
You're welcome. Yes, you likewise. Have a good one, Jess.
You too, Ash. And to everybody watching, don't go anywhere. I have some great interviews coming up.
We give you all, we give you all, we give you all, we give you all, we worship you, our Lord. You are worthy to be Come on, say it again. We
Point number 2 is preparation and provision. I knew I wanted to be the host of my very own talk show ever since I was in college. So I studied mass communications and I interned and worked at various talk shows as well as a news station. And through all of my experiences, I was able to learn the ins and the outs of television production. I knew what it took to be in front of the camera and behind the camera. And before I started recording these episodes for my show, I even did more research. I would watch all the talk shows that are on TV, you know, learn how they did the format. I did an online survey so that way I could learn from my target audience what their interests were like, and that helped me choose the different topics that I have had so far and will continue to have. And so basically what I'm saying is you want to be prepared as you pursue your dream. You want to find out what it's going to take in order to make it a reality. It's not enough to sit around and talk about it. You don't want to, just say, oh, I want to do this one day, or I'm going to do this, but you have no idea what it takes to get there. It doesn't make any sense. So get prepared. If you know somebody that is in the field that you're trying to get into, talk to them. Find out how they got there, and then also, volunteer or work in your field of interest, so that way you know what it's really like. It really will suck if you say, oh, I really want to be a chef, but you hate to cook, or you don't know how to cook, so you want to find out all those different things, so that way you can be prepared and your dream can be amazing and you can have fun doing it. Provision is something else that I discovered along the way. Provision is when God makes a way for you to have what it is that you need to get something accomplished. Now, I know a lot of times people say, oh, I don't have the money in order to do something that they really, really want to do. But what we have to realize is that just because you don't have it doesn't mean that there is not another way for you to get it. So we need to, look and think outside the box. There are programs out there where you can get grants, loans, all types of things, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So, keep your mind open to all the endless possibilities. When I was preparing for the show and working on it, at the time I didn't have editing software. So I was sharing with someone one day what it is I was doing and the kind of show I was going to have. And they asked me, do you have editing software for your video? And I said, no, I don't. And so they said, you know what, I'm going to give you an editing software called Final Cut Pro 7, which at the time was worth $800 and something. And they said that they were going to give it to me for free. I had no idea that that was going to happen. And every step of the way, God has made a way for me to get the things that I need. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to have to buy some things, because I have had to buy some of the equipment that I use along the way. But just know that you shouldn't let that stop you, because you never know how it's all going to work out. Just keep working towards it and doing all that you can to get what you need to get. And even if it happens little by little, that's fine. Buy what you need little by little, and you one day will be making it a reality like me. So don't let that stop you guys. Provision and preparation is a must.
On the show with me right now is Anita Jones, who is a first-year student at the School of Medicine at Howard University. Welcome to the show, Anita.
Thank you for having me.
So, Anita, right now I just got finished talking to the viewers about preparation and provision. So, can you tell me, how did you start to prepare for your dream of becoming a doctor?
Honestly, it was a really long process. It takes a lot of effort and dedication to say you really want to do it. At first, I had to see if I even wanted to be in the medical field. So I would put myself in situations where I was exposed to patients and doctors. So I actually shadowed doctors for about a year and a half in different...
In high school?
Even starting
or
in high
college?
school. I was thinking more after I graduated college. Just because things change and you never really know until you're really there if you really want to do it. So about a year and a half after I graduated from UConn, I was in the hospital, I was in community health centers, that sort of thing, to see if I really wanted to do it. I talked to physicians. I did some in-house work just to see what the field's like, talk to patients, and kind of did it that way, and then had to research what it meant to be a physician. So.
Okay. So good. You wanted to make sure that you knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Which is good. I'm glad to hear that, because I think that's so important to make sure that you do that. So, now, Anita, are you rich and you just applied to every medical school that you ever dreamed about going to? Or, did you have to do something to take care of the payment?
I wish, because it is not an inexpensive thing. It actually takes a lot of money to apply to a lot of these schools. I applied to about 15 schools, give or take, and that probably cost me about maybe give or take $3,000. Due to there's like primaries and there's secondaries. There's an interview cost from traveling back and forth to these schools. So it's definitely something I feel like if you're not dedicated and if you don't get the knowledge beforehand, that it would be a surprise to you if you didn't, if you didn't prepare, if you didn't research, if you didn't do background on these sort of things, because it does take a lot of effort and money to apply to medical school.
Right, but you said something that was key. You said dedicated. You know that this is your dream, so you were willing to put the $3,000, work hard, and do whatever it is you had to do. Now, let me ask you, because I know you're in medical school, but are you paying for it?
Oh, currently, I mean, by the grace of God, no. I actually found a scholarship that pays for everything. And it's been a godsend. They pay for my housing. They pay for my tuition fees. They also pay for books. They pay for living expenses. Anything that I can think of, this scholarship provides. And that also was done through research and so forth, because that sort of thing doesn't just fall in your lap. So
exactly. So you had to look for it. Good. So, Anita, when you said that you were going to go after trying to become a doctor, did you let the fact that you weren't rich, that you didn't have the money exactly to do this, stop you?
No, because, I mean, I come from a very go-getter background in my mom's world. If you can dream it, you can do it. And she's always been behind me 100% of the way. So I've never let money or my background or where I came from deter me. I know that, God is there for me and that I can do a lot of things through him. So it's a matter about putting things in perspective and knowing that things as material as like money and where you come from doesn't necessarily mean that, you can't fulfill your dreams. I think it's about knowing that if you want to do it, that you succeed. You do have to work hard for it, and it does take preparation in order for you to do so.
That is so true, Anita. So, Anita, thank you so much for coming to the show. What you just said is the whole embodiment of this point that I'm trying to tell people. You got to prepare. There will be provision, and you can't, let the obstacles stop you. You have to have that type of go-getter, mentality. So, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Up next, I have somebody else to help talk about my next point.
Point number 3 is determination and relentlessness. Once I knew I wanted to do this show, I was so determined to do whatever I had to do. But along my pursuit, I came across many obstacles. One being, my mom didn't always agree with the way I was going about it. And, like most loving parents, she thought that every suggestion I should follow. But, I love my mom. She fully supports everything that I'm doing now with the show. She's still one of the people in my corner helping me, when I need it. So thanks, Mom. Love you. What else happened? Along the way, one of my very, very, very close friends from college, she died unexpectedly at the age of 25. And that was really hard for me because she was one of my biggest supporters. She was always calling me from Virginia, asking me about the show, and we just, chit-chat like sisters. So, that really took a toll on me. What else? The free editing software that I received, I had the hardest time learning how to use it. Although I went to school for television production, mass communications, I didn't know how to edit well. And so even now today, I'm still learning more as I go along with editing. So that was something I had to get over. And even with me learning that, there were some other technical difficulties that I would come across from time to time and have to work through. So, all those things were going on, and I had broken relationships, broken friendships along the way, but despite all of that, I didn't let it stop me. Some of it was distracting at times, but I still had to stay focused and do everything that I had to do in order to make this show happen. So what am I saying? Be relentless and determined no matter what comes your way. We can't let life get in the way of that. Don't let anything get in the way of you and your dream. Don't let anything stop you. Nothing. Nada. Nothing. Nothing. Hey guys. So right now for the Jess moment, I am holding the camera on my own. I am getting ready for my last interview. It's with a guy that I met who's an actor, and he has this incredible story. He lives in his, I don't want to tell you guys. I bet. I was going to tell y'all some of the things that he's going to tell you about. Anyways, so right now, it's like 9:45 at night. I've never done an interview this late. So I'm doing it via Uvu like I've been doing all my other interviews throughout the show. I hope you guys are really learning something and being inspired and encouraged. I'm just so determined to get you guys great people every time I do a show. So even though I am not a night person, I am willing to stay up 9:45 at night to do an interview. I've never had an interview this late, guys. So I'm truly pressing right now, all because I love my viewers, all the people watching that are supporting me. I want you guys to really have great people who can share their story with you. So I love you guys. Let's get back to the show.
Joining me on the show right now is Thomas Bartley Jr. Thomas, we are talking about determination and relentlessness for my third point. So I definitely knew I had to have you as a guest because your story is incredible with the things that you have done in order to pursue your career. So Thomas, before we dive into all of that, let's talk a little bit about your career so people know what you do.
Okay, first of all, again, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you having me. And
You're welcome.
I'm an aspiring actor. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to pursue an acting career and gain a lot of success in the past 3 to 4 years. I've done film, theater, and television. I've done shows like For Richer or For Poor. I think that's been on Up TV. I've done segments on America's Most Wanted. I've worked with everybody from Clifton Powell, Carl Payne, Lynn Whitfield, Keith David, John Dill, Romeo Miller. So it's a host of folks that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to work with and just learn from.
And it's amazing that you've done all of that in just a span of 3 to 4 years. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So Thomas, along your journey, what have the two words determination and relentlessness meant to you?
I think they mean a whole lot. I probably wouldn't be where I am today without those two words. Determination is just, in my definition of determination, it's just meaning against all odds. Against all odds, nothing's going to stop me from getting to where I want to go. And just being relentless is just that extra force that pushes your determination. So just being relentless, staying on top of the producers, the directors, the casting directors, constantly networking and just pushing, making sure no one knows that you didn't disappear, you haven't gone anywhere. So just being extremely relentless, never letting up, and just always keeping my focus on and being determined to get to the ultimate goal.
And what are some of the things that you've had to do along the way with your relentless spirit? Because I know you've done some things like flown across the country and some, drastic steps like that.
Right. I've done some crazy things, but just being determined. I've done things as I flew across the country on my own dollar to shoot a film. I didn't have a major part in it, but I thought it was a great opportunity just to get my face out some more, and also just to network with a particular producer on this project. So I've done that. I've actually flown across the country several times on my own dollar, which isn't easy. I've stopped working my job. I actually quit my job to pursue acting full time, which wasn't the best because, again, as you know, as an aspiring actor, money isn't just flowing in your pocket.
Right.
I've also been out of town and had to almost sleep in my car just to be on this particular set because they weren't offering lodging. But again, it was a great opportunity. So just a lot of different things like that I believe the average person probably wouldn't go to those extremes. But again, just being relentless, like you say.
Right. And see, that's what I love about you. And I think it's so important for all of us to have that same mindset when we're pursuing our dreams because we're all going to have to go through something. So, Thomas, did you ever feel like it just wasn't worth it anymore, all this work you were doing, sleeping in cars and stuff? Like, you really thought that, along the way, did you ever feel like, gosh, this is not worth it?
I mean, I had my moments. For the most part, sometimes I feel like it's not happening fast enough. But again, I know it's not an overnight process. It's something that you got to, again, just dedicate yourself to and be in for the long haul. I think I pretty much decided that I'm here for the keeping, not going anywhere. So even sometimes, again, like I said, I still do have my moments, but I just persevered through it. I know what's the result of all the hard work now. I'd rather get paid later, so I'm moving forward.
That's right. All right, cool. I love your mindset, Thomas. I love it. So, Thomas, if people want more information about you, where can they find you?
You can always visit the website at www.thomasjractingout.com. No G on the acting. Or you could just follow me on Twitter or Instagram, like everybody uses Instagram now. So that's TJR Acting Out. That's no G on the acting. So that's TJR Acting Out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're everywhere.
Cool.
All right, Thomas.
Trying to be.
I hear you. You gotta do what you gotta do. So Thomas, thanks again for coming to the show. It was great talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And to everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
So I have nothing left to say other than go and do it. Stop talking about it, guys. Pursue your dreams. Figure out what it is that you were created to do and go and do it. Find out what you're passionate about. Whatever it is that you always think about, daydream about, do it, guys. We have one life to live. I'm not saying to go and quit your jobs tomorrow, but figure out how you can make it into reality, okay? Don't let another year go by where you're going back and forth to work miserable. Come on, take some time, invest in you, and figure out how to make it happen. This is your life, guys. Live your dreams. Live your dreams. Live your dreams. That's all I can say. Go and do it. Don't be scared. You can do it. All right, guys, I have nothing else to say other than I love you all and happy New Year.